So in our culture, like I said again, when you look at the Bible, you look at the Old Testament, you look at the New Testament. So in the Old Testament, you see a lot of things that are pronounced. In the New Testament, they are not very pronounced. So for instance, a lot of people look at the patriarchs and they say, oh, they are polygamists. This one had 3 wives, this one had 4 wives. But you see, I'm a Bible scholar, so I tell people, don't just read and then jump into conclusion. So when they say this person has 3 wives, 4 wives, how did he have 3, 4 wives? So you say, for instance now, they say, is Abraham a polygamist? Was he really a polygamist? Who is a polygamist? So we begin to go into all kinds of things that we should not even go. So Abraham had 1 wife.
And side chick.
That 1 wife now came and said, this girl, make him become surrogate mother.
Okay.
And the girl came and became a surrogate mother. So there were now 2 women that have a child for him. He didn't marry a second wife.
Okay.
He married 1 wife. The girl was brought in as a surrogate. And then he continued to courtship with the babe. When it was time for the babe to move, the woman said, Nami, bring her. It's time for her to go. Abraham said, no, if you go, because the thing don't sweet him. When he went to God, God said, you didn't consult me in the first time. When she brought the girl, you should have come to consult me. Should I? I would have told you, polygamy is not my plan. This same woman will born for you. But you listen to her, so you must go and listen again. Send this woman away. When the first wife and only wife died, Sarah, he now married another one. Do you understand? So he was not a polygamist in the sense that he married 3, 4 wives and kept all of them. So many times when we look at, I can go on each of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, I can go on and explain. Many times we just read it and we just want to see what we want to see because waiting there inside you.
Solomon, go.
Now you go, they look for. Now, let's go to Solomon. So the Bible says Solomon had how many wives and how many concubines?
300 wives, 700 concubines.
1,000. Think of divide 1,000 by 365 days. And think of, is that, so well, let's not go into, so, but for me.
So did they lie in that? Is that account a lie?
No, it's not a lie.
It's Zobo. They garnished it. Did they garnish it?
It's not a lie.
Exaggerated.
It's their belief, you know. When they say, for instance, now you know someone, and the person, let's say, like you were saying earlier, that he doesn't have statistics. I don't know whether it was on the show before. Now, if for instance that somebody is, maybe we are 7 friends. Out of the 7 friends, maybe 3 don't enter. They enter the babe. And then maybe we know 1 or 2 other people for streets we don't pass by. Then they can now say that girl, she sleeps around.
Yes.
You don't sleep with everybody.
Yes.
But you know it's not actually everybody.
Yes.
So when it comes to the issue of people saying they want multiple wives or whatever, 1 woman is enough. 1 woman is enough. That's why when you now come into the New Testament, you see that it says anyone, because even in the New Testament, people have multiple women. That's why he said that if anyone now choose that you want to be a pastor,
that's when you must be a husband of 1 woman.
One wife. Well, that means that there were people that had multiple women.
Yes.
But you cannot be having more that you're not conscious, you won't come collect title again. Say, no, if you will not carry that, your madness reach church. No, you must be.
Which means it was a normal thing for them to do it then. But if you want to become pastor, you must have only 1 woman.
Don't forget that both the Jews and the Islam, don't forget that Ishmael and Isaac, that is Muslim and Christian.
The same father.
It's the same. So, and they can marry 4 wives. So those cultures allow a lot of things. They have harems, they have all kinds of stuff. So one thing you need to understand is don't copy the wrong thing. Copy the right thing and look at the principle. We have 1 wife and you say 1 wife is not enough. Most of the time, what you are thinking you are looking for is not there. Most of the time, you have 80% in your woman. You are looking for 20% that she doesn't have. And nobody is perfect. You now see somebody outside that has the 20%.
Yeah.
The 20% can't enter your high. You can't go leave 80, go pursue 20. When you now reach outside, you now discover that one get 20, but she don't get 80. You now start feeling that I need to go back to where I'm going because the grass is not greener on the other side. If you water your garden, it will grow. If you don't have what you love...
Talk about universal principles. And, you know, when people... The first thing that comes to mind when people talk about wealth is, you know, as much material possession that you can grab. And it would appear like for some people, if you know amass that plenty, you never start. You never go anywhere. But there are certain principles that one must follow and to be able to make this wealth and multiply or consolidate on this wealth. But if I say, for this part of the world, whether now our education or na the things when we know, or na the way when our life just day. It just be like say we don't understand what in that concept be. It would be nice to know what this concept is exactly and why it would appear like there are challenges in this part of the world.
Okay, so principles are universal, but the application of those principles are personal, contextual, and geographical. What do I mean by that? The law of gravity is the law of gravity. Okay. The law of self-preservation is the law of self-preservation. The law of lift is the law of lift. So gravity is you jump off a story building, you come down.
Yes.
Whether you do it in Tokyo, you do it in Lagos, you do it in Kenya, Rwanda, or in China. So that's the law. It's a universal principle. But that universal principle is personal. It's contextual and it's geographical. Personal in the sense that you may be on a 2-story building, somebody else is on a 10-story building. Mm-hmm. If they jump, the same law will go. So, but that personal is different. You may be male or female, but it's the same law. Mm-hmm. It's also contextual. Your own context may be that you wanted to jump because you lost your job. Somebody else may want to jump because they were jilted. They served them breakfast. But that's their context. So everybody, once you jump, the law will go to work, regardless of the purpose. That's your context. Then geographical. You may jump in Lagos. Somebody else is jumping in Los Angeles. The location is different, but the law will go to work. That's how principles are. Principles are universal. But when you want to apply it, it's personal, contextual, and geographical. So what everybody needs to know is what are the principles that govern wealth creation. Once you now know the principle, you now begin to apply it to your own personal life within your context and within your geography. So I will have to go back to the story of part of my life that led to what I know today.
Okay.
When we're expecting my first child was born in 1998. When the pregnancy came, in the midst of all those I now realize that pregnancy don't enter. Even to pay house rent, you are believing God. To feed things now, you don't pregnant the woman now, no money. As the pregnancy was growing, my frustration was growing. Now, this is a man of God. I'm a pastor. I've gone born again since I was a teenager. I've been in ministry since I was a teenager. I've been a pastor since the year of 21. Everything is moving on fine. And now I'm married. I'm expecting a child, but there's no money. So I'm like, So at that point, I got angry with God. I'm not lying. I'm not stealing. I'm not sleeping around. I'm not on drugs. I'm not doing nightclub. I'm not a fake pastor. Why am I poor? Oh, we have paid tithe. They say, Peter, I don't pay tithe. Things are still tight. I give offering. I'm still suffering. I was angry with God. So it was that situation of you are not a man, you are there. And as the pregnancy was growing, my frustration was growing. I became depressed. I was almost suicidal. You mean all this where they preach? When it will happen for my own life? That was when, in that anger, God, I kept hearing it. Who told you? Who told you? Who told you? And I'm like, what do you mean who told you? It's in the Bible. That's when I realized that majority of the things I believe, like many people today, is what Papa said, Pastor said, Bishop said. This is what our church believe. People don't know God for themselves. So people know church, they know pastors, they know religion, but they don't know God. And that's why we have so many churches yet our country is still like this, because people are not regenerated. What we are doing now is what we call Pentecostal orthodoxy. People are just going to church because they're in the rain. So that led me to say, God, okay, I'm tired. He said, if you want to be free, let me show you. And he said, go back to the Bible. And God took me from Genesis to Revelation and began to show me from Genesis principles of wealth creation in the Bible. I was shocked. All the scripture, we say, when we they read them, they go tell us, say that, occupy till I come. Now holiness, occupy till I come. Jesus will soon come. He said, read it from that side. He said, do business till I return. I say, hey, and they say, pastor, no do business. Do business. Because we went to school. Imagine it. I went to school, I have certificates. Yet I say, God, come here, I can't sit down there. They say, they do full-time ministry, full-time foolishness. Full-time ministry, God had to tell me, say, you are just foolish. That who called you to full-time? Where did you see it in your Bible? Show me. I said, but it's there. They abandoned us. It's okay. Let me. So God now told me that full-time ministry means that ministry, when I call you, ministry should be your primary assignment, not your only assignment. You don't go into full-time until your hands are full. You can't be pastoring 12 and say you are full-time. You are just a jobless, lazy man looking for something. So those things I studied, it started showing me from scripture. From Genesis 1, it showed me, let there be light. So if there is, the only way you can say let there be light is because there was darkness outside. It did not acknowledge the darkness. What was inside it was what he spoke forth. So you have to imagine it and declare it and believe it and you see it. Principles were shown. He said different things. He said he separated the land from the water. You have to separate what, those are all principles. So from Genesis, he was showing me, he separated the firmament from the land. Separation, separate your gift from your talent, from your potential, separate your ambition. Everything he was showing me. He said he made the sun don't forget there was light. Let there be light. But then on day 4, he created the sun, the moon, and the star. Come. I thought there was already light. The first light is Shekinah glory, the light of his glory. The second light is the light of the elements of the earth. Sun, moon, and star. He said he created the sun, the moon, and the star. The sun to shine by day, the moon to shine by night, and the star also. So it showed me that everybody can shine. Shine your shine, I shine my shine. It's all a matter of times and season. Somebody may be a sun, somebody may be, I may be a star, but everybody's created to shine. These are all from Bible. Then God man, have dominion. I say, wow. So when I saw that, it showed me different things from scripture. I said, okay. He now said, now that you are done, this thing, 8 months, I was on a mad research. I read hundreds of biographies. He now said, now, who is the richest man in Africa? Who is the richest man in Asia? He asked me the question, who is the richest man in all the continents of the earth? Don't forget this 1998, no Google, no social media, to know the kind of rigor that I went through, traveling, going to library, going to church. He said, I should go and study the life of every rich and wealthy man and family I can find on the face of the earth, and study their life and look at this, because there's a story behind the glory. There's what we call the iceberg principle. For everything that you see, the tip of the iceberg. Iceberg is a mountain under the water. You see the tip. There is 9 parts that you don't see. So there are things that people do in secret that makes them to shine in the open. Whatever you see in the open is just a tip. When you get to them, they will now tell you the secret. Because everybody is using something. Just be sure that what you are using is the right one.
Everybody's using
something.
Just be sure that the one you are using is the right one. Because if you are not using something, they are using something against you. Because you are either in the secret court or you are in the secret place. There's no middle ground. You are you are going to be like a chicken where they go kill for Christmas. They go buy you for January, feed you till November, kill you for December. So all the love they are showing you is to kill you in December because you don't understand. So when I now began to study all these people, I now saw all the principles that everybody, that was what led to my first book, How to Be a Millionaire, now called Pathway to Wealth. And I now wrote that to the primary constituency of the church. Say, let me deliver the church from this foolishness first before I now go to the world. That's when I now release School of Money for the World. So all the things I learned, and now they're like, what? You mean these things are inside Bible? He gave one gift. He gave one this. He went to bury his gift. I say, wow. So I now say, okay, all this is why I don't study. I will practice it for myself. So many things I noticed is, number one, there is no rich man on earth that is a salary earner.
There's no rich man on earth who is a salary earner.
None. Everyone that is wealthy today, they don't depend on salary alone. Number two, there is no rich man on earth that has only one source of income.
Never.
Not one. Number three, every rich man on earth, all of them without fail, real estate is part of what they use to retain their wealth. So when I study, I say, that's when I realized that I don't discover the principle. I now apply it. My brother, in this same Nigeria, in 3 years, my story changed. In 3 years, I said, that's so easy. Why? Because let me use this to help pastors. Now, I was a pastor, full-time man of God. I've been a pastor, I've been in ministry since 1988, 89. And this now I'm discovering this in 1998. I don't do the full time. I don't do anything. I'm called to ministry. We just going to serve God. I carry certificate. I drop them. When I started this church 29 years ago, the church I pastor now, I was full time. I was working. I left the job. Say, God, don't call me. I left job. Sat down. I will sit down at home in my mother's house in the Kotu. And then I will be sitting down. People will be going to say, Pastor, good morning, sir. Please, I bought a wagon. The man didn't give me change. He said he will come around 11, but I don't go there, me collect change. True life story. 1995. This was my life when I started this church. 1995. They will do, please, when let me take key. I became an errand boy. So I began to say, come, you are called, you are anointed. You are sitting down. Are you sure this full-time thing is not foolishness? You mean that God called you to sit down to be collecting key and they were going to change? Go and revisit this thing. That's when I broke free from this full-time something. So when 1998 now came, because see, you can be poor as a single man, but don't try it as a married man. Your eye go. You say love is blind, married will open your eyes. You go, your eye goes. When you see responsibility, you will see your responsibility. So when I noticed all those things, I put it, so I was a pastor. But at that point, I now realized, by virtue of what he taught me, that in order for you to become rich and wealthy, number one, you need financial intelligence, you need delayed gratification, you need savings, you need multiple streams of income. I now began to practice those. So that's when I started writing books. I've written over 100 books right now. Now, but the books were already in me. So today now, you see a lot of people out there, they have gifts, but they are not trading their gifts. Money flows in exchange for goods and services. Money flows in exchange for value. So that's your gift. You must turn it into a product or a service that you can exchange for money. You can be gifted and poor. People can celebrate you and say, we have a lot of, poor celebrity beggars now that are just celebrity because they say they are in show business. They know the show. They don't know the business of the show. But the people that know the business of the show, nobody knows them. But they are the one making the real money. And that one is just doing bling bling. Poor man out there. And then they will now begin to cry that they use me. When you sign, your eye not clear. They force you. It's poverty that made you to sign. You signed it as a poor man. Now you have seen glory. Now you will serve your sentence. Do you understand now? So I don't know if
no, this is really very, very eye-opening. But I go ask, they go tell everybody, say, go school, education, and all. People go, if we go by the system in Nigeria here, 6 years primary school, 6 years secondary school,
study this,
4
study
years
economy,
university,
study banking and finance.
And the whole idea is once you acquire this education,
you work for somebody.
You will break free from the shackles of poverty.
You're good to go.
And you are good to go. But it can't be like say the school waiting that they teach us, not be waiting.
Okay, so let's understand this. Because the challenge we have is that we don't realize that change is the only constant in life. What is true today may be a lie tomorrow. But it doesn't mean it was not true yesterday.
What is true today may be a lie tomorrow.
But it doesn't mean it was not true yesterday. It's because life is lived forward but understood backward. And as we evolve, we learn. Everybody here, there's one statement you have made in your life. If I knew what I know now. Everybody on earth, if you have never made that statement, you are a madman. That means you are not growing. That is a sign of growth. If you say, I will not have done that, that means you are growing. So when you have a single lady as a daughter, what will you tell the girl? Don't sleep with any man. Don't let a man touch you. It's true. You are not lying to her because at that season of her life, that was what she needed to hear. But when she gets married, don't deprive your husband of sex. Make sure mommy, are you not the one that told me? No. Now I'm telling you something else. So what I told you before was true. But if I tell you not to allow your husband to touch you now, it's a lie. I'm ruining your life. I'm ruining your marriage. That's the way life is. So when they were telling us, don't forget, you see, people need to just get the School of Money book, get all this book. You see, I explain all these things. The civilization we call civilization today started with what we call the hunter-gatherer state, the caveman era. At that point in time, no school, no nothing. The only thing that people had was energy and skill. They were hunting, running after squirrel, running after antelope, running after all these things. That's all they had, and that's all they needed. If you gave that person $1 billion at that point, they would use and do toilet roll. Because it was useless to them. There was no shopping mall, no shoe, nothing. They didn't even know that anything was wrong. But when they evolved to the realm of agrarian age, that was when land became important. People now started claiming land. Real estate is royal estate. This is the land you need to come. Right of occupancy. That it was at that point that we started trade by barter. It was at that point that they started multiple wives, multiple children. It was at that time that slave trade came. All this is were all economic theory to survive that season. Then they evolved from that point to industrial revolution. It was during the industrial age that education came. So during the industrial age, education was set up to take people from the farming slave to factory slave. So they now say, okay, all the intelligent ones that are here now, let's gather them because this guy be like, say, get some brain. If you tell them something, if they know how to plant, if they answer, put them together and create a curriculum and teach them so that they will know how to undo the factory. Because from orange, we need to produce orange juice. And we need to cancel. They now created courses. Okay, this is accounting. This is chemistry. Question, the first person that became an accountant, who certified him? So somebody sat down and said, come, let's create it. I do curriculum now, so I know what I'm talking about. I've created curriculum that does not exist before, that I created. And it's now existing because I created it. So somebody said, okay, let's do one, we call it accounting. But that person that was creating the curriculum, he himself is not certified. Because nobody certified. He's now the pioneer and the progenitor of a new. That's how all these courses were created. And it was not, schools were not created to make you rich. They were created to discipline and train you to function the way those that need you want you to function. So if you meet with elderly people in their 70s or in their 80s and they are to ask you, they won't ask you what course do you study. They will say, what is your discipline? That's what they won't say, what course do you study? Yes. So they say, what is your discipline? That means what have you been disciplined to become? That's why all your life you have an identity. You go to school, when you come out, they say, what's this? I say, I'm doctor, I'm engineer. You forget your name. You now start introducing yourself with the title they give you. Because you went to school to be trained to become what they want you to become. So there was nothing wrong in education in the days of our parents. But what they did not realize was that the colonial masters were using this for a purpose. That is why we still have the problem today. So when you go to school, they teach you to become this, and then you become it. But the world has evolved. We have moved from industrial age now. We are now in the age of technology. We are in what we call the fourth industrial revolution. The fifth one is emerging now. So all those things now, don't forget that when we were growing up, if you say you want to be an actor, you say, hear me. You want to be a footballer, hey, village people. Today, now everybody wants to be a footballer. But all those things have now expired. Now everybody wants to move to the next level, IT, tech. And all the tech. So
tech
that's so now, when you go to school, you learn, you come to use. But in order for them to keep you for 5 years or 4 years, they have to teach you what you need and what you don't need. And most of the textbooks were given by the Westerners to deceive you. That's why they will say Mongo Park came to discover you. Are you all right?
Mongo Park,
so you exist, then somebody can't discover you. If you didn't exist, will you be discovered? You say you are discovered. It's because of all these problems. So now, over 80% of what you learn in school today is useless when you graduate.
Over 80%.
Yes.
It's useless.
The YDX.
Over 80% is useless. Now, number two, the world that existed when you do, is it the matric they will do first? Convocation.
Matric first, convocation last.
The world that existed when you did matric, by the time you are doing convocation with the next gown, that world is no more in existence. Because every 5 years, there's a new world. 2019 and now are two different worlds. Pre-COVID, post-COVID. In 2019, nobody will ask you, is it virtual? It was not in our vocabulary. That's a new word. Before 2019, nobody will say, I want to work remotely. So if you are still now oppressing, no, you cannot do this. It's because you are still an analog mind in a digital age. You don't realize that things have changed. So companies are now rewriting policies, rewriting HR policy. Why? Because it's a new world. So people that are now telling you go to school, go and study this, go and study that, they are not bad people, but they are expired people. They are sincere, but they are sincerely wrong. They are telling you to go and do something that is